Once upon a time, in the deep blue waters of the Atlantic Ocean, there was an underwater kingdom called Aqua Marina, ruled by King Nereus and Queen Thalassa. They had one beautiful daughter named Calypso, who was a mermaid princess. Now in those days, the kingdom of Aqua Marina was often at war with the human kingdom on the land above called Terra Nor. The king of Terra Nor, King Leonidas, had one son called Prince Demetrius. One day, while swimming near the surface, Princess Calypso saw a ship sailing above her and became curious about the human world. She swam up to the surface to get a closer look. At the same time, Prince Demetrius was on the deck of that very ship, getting some fresh air. As soon as their eyes met, they felt a powerful connection, like lightning had struck them both. Calypso was entranced by Demetrius's handsome face and strong physique, and Demetrius was captivated by Calypso's exotic beauty and long flowing hair. From that day on, they began meeting in secret at a secluded cove whenever they could. Calypso would slip away from her mermaid responsibilities to swim to the surface, and Demetrius would steal away from the palace to row his boat to their meeting place. Over time, their meetups blossomed into a deep and passionate love affair. They spent countless hours talking, laughing, and sharing their hopes and dreams. Calypso taught Demetrius the wonders of the ocean depths, while he educated her about life on land. However, dear families would never approve of this forbidden love between a mermaid and a human prince. If they were caught, there would be dire consequences. But dear hearts did not care about the conflicts between their two kingdoms. All they wanted was to be together. One night, under the light of the full moon, Demetrius proclaimed his undying love to Calypso on the beach. "My dear princess, you have captured my heart like no other. I love you more than life itself. Please say you will be my wife, so we can unite our two worlds in peace." Calypso's eyes filled with tears of joy as she replied, "Oh, Demetrius, I have never loved anyone as deeply as I love you. I will gladly become your wife and your queen." They then embraced and sealed their vows with a passionate kiss, heedless of the troubles their union would bring. Alas, their secret trysts did not stay secret for long. A mermaid guard had seen Calypso meeting with the human prince and immediately reported it to King Nereus. When he confronted his daughter about her affair with a landman, he was outraged and forbade her from ever seeing Demetrius again. Meanwhile, one of Demetrius's knights witnessed the prince's rendezvous with the mermaid and told King Leonidas. He too was furious that his only son and heir could love a creature of the sea. Tensions quickly escalated between the two kingdoms over the scandal. Insults were hurled, threats were made, and battle lines were drawn. It seemed that full-scale war was inevitable over the star-crossed lovers' desire to be together. In the midst of this chaos, Calypso and Demetrius doubled down on their efforts to meet, no matter the risk. Using secret channels only they knew about, they continued to find ways to rendezvous. They refused to give up on their dream of uniting their two worlds through their marriage. But on one fateful night, their plan went horribly wrong. As Demetrius rowed his boat to their usual meeting place, he was ambushed by mermaid warriors sent by King Nereus. In the struggle, Demetrius was struck over the head and fell unconscious into the water. Calypso saw the whole terrible scene unfold and swam as fast as she could to go to his rescue. She dragged his limp body to the shore and used all her strength to try to revive him. But it was no use. Demetrius had stopped breathing. Calypso wept bitter tears over her lover's body, her heart shattered into a million pieces. She pleaded to the gods above and below to bring him back to her. Just then, a mystical sea witch appeared before her and said she could restore Demetrius to life, but at a terrible price. "To grant your wish, I must take your beautiful voice that has enchanted so many," the wicked creature cackled. For every time you open your mouth to speak or sing, you will feel unbearable pain." Calypso did not hesitate for even a moment. "I care not for my voice or songs if it means having my love returned to me," she cried out. With a wave of the sea witch's powerful trident, Calypso's voice was stripped away, and Demetrius started breathing once more. When he opened his eyes to see his beloved mermaid princess smiling at him, he embraced her tightly. But their joy was short-lived, as King Nereus's mermaid army soon found them and immediately captured Demetrius as their prisoner. Calypso tried to beg for mercy for her love, but without her voice, no words would come out. She could only mouth the words in anguish as Demetrius was hauled away in chains. Demetrius was brought before King Nereus in the underwater palace, where the angry merman king made it clear that executing the human prince was his plan. When word of this reached the land king's ear, he assembled his forces to mount an attack on the underwater kingdom of Aquamarina. And so the two kingdoms finally broke out into the catastrophic war that had been brewing for ages over dear differences, with the fate of the star-crossed lovers hanging in the balance. Massive battles erupted across the oceans and seas as mermaid and human fought viciously. Heartbroken at the escalating bloodshed caused by her relationship with Demetrius, Calypso knew she had to do something before it was too late. But how could she intervene without her voice to speak or sing? In desperation, she sought out the mystical sea witch once more. "Please, can you restore my voice? I will give you any treasure from the ocean floors, pearls, jewels, sunken ships, anything," she mouthed. The wicked sea hag pondered this and made Calypso a veiled offer. "There may be a way for me to give you back the power of speech, but it will require you to make a sacrifice even greater than your beautiful voice." Calypso was taken aback by this ominous proposal, but agreed in order to stop the war. Using her dark magic powers, the sea witch cast an ancient spell. Calypso found she could speak again, but every word she spoke took away a portion of her life energy. This was the agreed sacrifice. Her vitality would slowly ebb away until she turned into sea foam. Armed with her voice again, Calypso immediately called for a temporary ceasefire between the merfolk and humans. She arranged for a secure meeting place between her father, King Nereus, and Prince Demetrius's father, King Leonidas. When the leaders from the warring kingdoms came face to face, tensions were at an all-time high. But Calypso stood before them all and pleaded for the violence and hatred to end. "My beloved kings," she said, her voice clear and strong despite feeling slightly drained. "The love I bear for Prince Demetrius has already become a spark that has ignited a raging wildfire between our peoples. If not extinguished soon, this inferno will consume all we hold dear until our kingdoms lie in ashes." She went on to make eloquent appeals for reconciliation and unity, pushing past a feeling of her life force seeping out with each impassioned word. "As a princess of the seas and a child of the ocean mother herself, I beseech you, let our marriage be a bridge between our realms, not an eternal gulf." King Nereus and King Leonidas were initially skeptical and hardened by generations of mistrust. But as they really listened to Calypso's pleas, their resolve softened bit by bit, melted by her persuasive words and the obvious cost she was paying to speak them. Soon, the spark of new understanding was lit in both rulers' souls. Yes, perhaps uniting dear kingdoms through the sanctified marriage bond was worth putting aside their age-old conflict. The alternative of total war suddenly seemed like utter madness. So after much talk of terms and conditions, the two kings finally agreed to a permanent peace treaty. The marriage of Princess Calypso and Prince Demetrius would merge the mere people of Aquamarina and the humans of Terranor into one unified kingdom, combining the powers of land and sea. Immediately, orders went out on both sides to cease all hostilities. The Merfolk and human armies who had been engaged in bloody combat put down their weapons and greeted each other as new sisters and brothers. On the appointed day soon after, a grand wedding ceremony was held on a beautiful island jointly governed by the two former enemy nations. The whole island was decorated with seashell arches, kelp garlands, and floral bouquets as far as the eye could see. When Calypso finally arrived at the seashell-adorned altar, she took Demetrius's hands in hers and gazed lovingly into his eyes. Though she had used up so much of her voice pleading for peace, she had just enough vitality left to say one final set of sacred vows. "My Prince Demetrius, I have sacrificed my voice, and more so that our love could heal the ancient rift between land and sea. I give to you my whole heart, until the end of my days on this earth." Demetrius beamed with joy to hear his true love's voice again and replied, "My Princess Calypso, your strength and devotion have shown me the way to unite all peoples. I vow to cherish and stand by you always, from this day until my last." With that, they sealed their vows with a passionate kiss, and their official marriage rites were complete. Both kingdoms erupted in thunderous cheers and celebration at this hard-won union. Night fell, and the newlywed couple danced under a canopy of brilliant stars, lighting up the future of their newly merged kingdom. For many years afterward, King Demetrius and Queen Calypso ruled over their subjects with wisdom, grace, and understanding between all races. Under their leadership, merfolk and humans coexisted in harmony like never before. And though Calypso's unnaturally long lifespan began to wane due to the sea witch's curse, she considered it a small price to pay for achieving lasting peace. Her powerful voice had been depleted long ago, but her actions sang louder than any words ever could. When she finally passed away in her husband's arms after decades of joint reign, the entire kingdom wept at her departure. But they all vowed to uphold the virtues of cooperation and equality between all peoples that she had given her life to protect. So from that day forward, neither mermaid nor man looked upon each other as hostile others ever again. They had become one nation, one people, one voice thanks to the courage and sacrifice of their beloved queen. And in their sacred undersea grotto, a timeless statue of Calypso and Demetrius embracing was built to inspire future generations. Her frozen, open mouth showed the anguish of giving up her voice, but her face was radiant with love and hope for a unified world, the dream that she had ultimately helped make a reality through her noble deeds. That's it for this video, folks. Be sure to subscribe to our channel Pictales for more stories like this one. Leave a comment letting us know what stories you'd like to see come to life. Don't forget to like and subscribe for new African tales and fables every week.